I don't know what I was just saying. So it was only after I finished filming that previous video that I realised that it was probably almost completely blurry. As I say, started me to go on. I don't want to completely go over all again what I said in the first video, but kind of as a way to re-emphasise it. I used to really enjoy making YouTube videos. I used to really look forward to, you know, having some free time and be able to sit down with my camera and put it together and edit it and things like that. And I just sort of fell very out of love with it. I haven't fallen back in love with vlogging as a whole, but more I'm trying to get more in touch with my creative side in general, as opposed to vlogging or YouTube specifically. And so I've been thinking a lot about art, and this no doubt can be expressed over multiple videos, the entire study of what I think about art and how art is portrayed, and my opinions on art in a more general setting. These curtains, for example, art. Perhaps I have an over-idealised version of what YouTube and what the vlogging space in general can be, and perhaps I perceived it too much as some sort of idea of art. But if you really look back at my videos were not artistic in any way, shape or form, really, and they're probably not going to really be that artistic now. You might have been able to tell that I'm quite on edge now, and was even more so in the previous video. That was down to almost completely scripting that word for word and attempting to deliver that without reading it in my hands or from a screen. Oh, jolts the camera. Without attempting to read that, you know, word for word and trying to remember it, and just an awkward delivery. That was kind of my attempt to make it more artistic in a way. If I pre-write it beforehand and make it the best that it can be, then somehow it'll reach its pinnacle or whatever. 2015 has been a year where I've tried to appreciate art in general more, and that comes to all sorts of types of art. I've been trying to expand my horizons in every possible direction musically. I've been listening to a much wider variety of music than I had in any previous year. Previous years have been very sort of into the whole rock and pop punk and punk sort of vibe, but this year just sort of, you know, breaking down barriers, I guess would be the best way to phrase it. And in December it's fun to look back and realise how much I have expanded. I will always have a preference for the punk bands and pop punk bands that I loved as a young teenager, but as I get older it's important to realise that what you like as a teenager and as a young teenager isn't what defines you throughout your entire life. And this intentional exposure of myself to, it's particularly apparent in music, but also in film, in physical, literal, what most people would associate when you say the word art. And trying to go to galleries. I was very good at doing that at the beginning of the year. I think I went to like a gallery every month. It does help living in London, being able to do that. I tried to expand my musical horizons into all sorts of varieties of music, and sort of realising that it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly what you like and why you like it. I say to myself that I like really quite upbeat and fast music. Can you listen to some really good slow music? But Stephen, you only like fast, upbeat songs. How can you like that slow song? And it doesn't make sense what you like. It's important, if you're not liking, or if you're becoming disenfranchised with the art and in general, I suppose, the media you're consuming might be a better word. Calling, you know, comic books or TV shows art rubs some people the wrong way. So media as a more broad and general term. But if you don't like the media you're consuming, change the media you're consuming. And if you don't like the media you're producing, stop producing it, try something else, and maybe come back to it later, as I am, with a fresh set of eyes and a new idea of not what's capable through the medium, but that particularly with a medium like YouTube, that almost anything is possible to be achieved. And it's you, or rather it was I, who was pigeonholing myself into watching repetitive vloggers over and over again. And it's important to seek out and find content and media and art that really interests you. And 2015 has really been the year for me of expanding my horizons creatively. I have produced almost nothing in 2015, so to say I was expanding my horizons creatively might seem a bit strange, and I hope that 2016 will be a year of my output creatively and how that has changed. So 2015 was a very sort of introspective year, me judging and thinking about the media I consume and changing that media. I'm hoping, particularly with this, with the vlogging that I do, and perhaps with other things I do, that 2016 will be a change to my creative output and the impact I make on the world. As I said in the first video, it could all come crumbling down in 2 or 3 more videos, as my creative projects are likely to do. But here's hoping it doesn't. I have got 1 or 2 things up my sleeve as far as, you know, different sort of things go. Not traditional vlogs, not groundbreaking in any sense, but certainly new for me. I might make this into a little series, me talking about art. I find art to be an always interesting and always intriguing subject. I never really discuss it with anyone in person. It's always a bit of a funny subject to talk about with people. On the one hand, it's very personal, but it also can be perceived as quite elitist, is art, and that's one of my gripes with it, and sort of very out there and not very relevant to the common man or the common person. I didn't think I could talk that much about it, but sitting here sort of rambling for a couple of minutes off the cuff, I realise I have got an awful lot to say about my opinions on art. Whether anyone will watch them or not is a different matter. If anyone watches at all, as I said in the last video, is an interesting matter. But in summary, in closing, it's important to broaden your horizons. It's important to evaluate all that you are consuming and whether you still deem it to be of value to you. And if you don't deem it to be of value to you, then why are you consuming it? Why are you wasting your own time? If you don't value it, discard it. Your tastes and your opinions change over time, and that's okay. What I've really taken from even just the back end of this year is that if you try to make time to be creative and to consume creative mediums, then you will find the time. And to say that you don't have time is just lying to yourself. There are always 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, hours here where you're browsing the web. What else could you be doing with that time? Don't want to end on a preachy note, and I won't. I'm just going to say that I'm feeling good creatively. I'm glad that I am finally doing something with this creative energy. So this was my first bit on art. There'll be more on the way. Bye.